The shadows behind the altar. A story of faith, power, secrets, and the God who sees all. Not everything holy shines, sometimes the fire underneath burns darker than sin. Pastor Daniel Oak was known across the city of Jethro as the Shepherd of Light. His church, Holy Fire Global Ministries, had grown from a tiny gathering in a classroom to a massive cathedral that seated over 10,000 people. Miracles were happening. People were testifying. Money was flowing. But not everything holy shines. Some things glow because there's fire underneath. Daniel wasn't always a pastor. He was once a young boy who grew up beside the railway tracks in Makodi, raised by a prayerful mother who kept saying,
God will use you, but
Daniel,
the devil will
God
try
will use
first.
you, but the devil will try first. He didn't understand the prophecy until much later. Pastor Michael Adeyemi joined the church 5 years after it exploded in popularity. He was young, charismatic, and had a strange mysterious charm that made members gather around him. He preached powerfully. He prayed aggressively. He performed deliverances that made people scream and faint. But what nobody knew was that Michael had a private room behind the church office. A room only he entered. A room he locked with a custom-made padlock he never took off his neck. Inside that room were candles, oils, books, and an altar covered with red cloth. A place where miracles were manufactured. Sister Grace, the worship leader, had a dream one night. She saw the church altar cracking. She saw 2 pastors standing on it, one glowing with white light, the other surrounded by smoke. She saw members shouting, "Pastor, help us." Then she woke up sweating. That Sunday, during worship, she began to cry uncontrollably. The mic was on. Everyone heard her say, "Something is wrong in the church. God is warning us." Pastor Daniel called her to his office after service. Grace trembled as she repeated the dream. Daniel dismissed her gently, but deep inside his spirit, he felt a sharp fear he could not explain. Rumors began to spread. Church money was disappearing. Documents were missing. Members in charge of finance were fighting. One even resigned without explanation. Pastor Daniel called for an audit. Michael tried everything to stop it. During a heated meeting he shouted, "Sir, audits break trust. Why do we need it? Don't you trust your own leaders?" Daniel calmly replied, "If there is nothing wrong, then there is nothing to fear." That was the day Michael knew Daniel suspected him. And that was the night Michael opened the secret room behind the church. He took out a black book and said, "If Daniel wants to fight, then let the spirits decide." A popular blogger posted, "Collision, a pastor of Holy Fire under investigation for money laundering." The internet went wild. People started leaving the church. Members questioned the leadership. Some mocked. Others cried. Pastor Daniel sat in his office, staring at the wall, wondering how everything collapsed so fast. But then the audit report came out. It showed that someone forged Daniel's signature. Someone authorized transfers he never approved. The signature belonged to Michael. When confronted, Michael smiled. A strange, unsettling smile. Daniel ordered that the secret room be opened. Michael begged them not to. When the door finally broke open, everyone screamed. They found his altar, books, oils, and a list of church members with their prayer requests written in reverse handwriting. Michael dropped to his knees and began shouting, "You don't know what you're doing. I was the one growing this church." He lunged at Daniel. 2 ushers held him back. Michael began to laugh, louder, deeper, darker. Almost non-human. Grace entered the room and began to sing, "There is power in the name of Jesus." Michael suddenly collapsed. His last words before passing out were, "The spirits, they will come for all of you." The church went through weeks of fasting and prayer. Members returned. Testimonies began again. Daniel stood before the congregation one Sunday and said, "Miracles are not magic. Power is not manipulation. The church must return to God, not to the stage." The entire hall fell silent. Then Grace stepped forward and sang, "Take me back to the place where I first believed." People began to weep. For the first time in years, the church felt genuinely holy. Michael was sent for rehabilitation and spiritual counseling. Some say he escaped. Some say he disappeared. Some say he was seen preaching on a street corner in another city. Pastor Daniel rebuilt the church, not with fame, not with miracles, but with truth. And every Sunday, Grace sees one vision. A bright light over the altar. A sign that the war was won.